let's be honest, like who buys cable?
Yeah,
you've got to be 50 plus, I reckon.
Yeah. This was a big deal when like Foxtel was bidding off crazy for the rugby rights with Nine and Stan, because the Foxtel CEO came out. They've obviously moved on to like KO and Binge. They're gone streaming. But the old model, which holds everywhere over the world, if you have like a cable box, like a physical receiver box that's in someone's house connected to their TV and probably through like, the series of tubes at the back, that is the best asset you can have. If someone subscribes to KO or Netflix or Stan, Amazon Prime, you can cancel that.
Yeah, 3 days before your subscription, it says
you're like,
it's
all right,
going to renew.
I've watched everything new Netflix has. I can just churn out and maybe I'll come back to it. Pretty hard to do it when you've got a box sitting in your house under your TV.
Plugged into a cable.
That's a great asset for them. And one of the great holders of that asset was like 60-year-old guys that love rugby union.
Yeah.
Who are not the dominant demographic in Australian society anymore, but they're around and asserting their views.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of money to burn as well.
Yeah. But the thing with the cable box is obviously it has to also offer Netflix.
It has to now, yeah.
ABC iView.
Because people expect.
SBS, all that on demand. Like it has to all be within because they don't want people pressing AV2 and going to like Apple TV to look at their Netflix or whatever it is, or going back to their smart TV. They want people in the cable box to view everything. Like you want people to turn on the TV and Foxtel is their homepage. Like what we were talking about with Mark DeStef like months ago. So therefore they've had to obviously, those services have to be within the kind of Foxtel environment, which leads to this weird situation where like content is coming from multiple places. Some of it's from Foxtel, some of it's not, blah, 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 blah. That's untenable. Other than distribution and broadcast rights, there is no reason that we need to have a cable plugged into our house to distribute television shows anymore.
No, but again, it just shows how various other incentives, other than the fact that like it's nice and easy to watch, and like I can pay one fee and watch whatever I want. There are so many like other extraneous sort of things which keep old busted models going, and this is one of the reasons that sports streaming as like a unified experience doesn't really exist.
No,
because there's.
But the best we have is KO here in Australia.
Is this where you're going to sound off?
Well, I don't want to hype it up too much.
Well, you've been building up to it for ages. And the people do want it.
I know you're feeling me with this, other KO viewers. So we have no choice, right? Like if you want to watch a bunch of different sports, KO is literally your only option. As I said before, the good. We do get basically access to all sports because there is a monopoly. And so like there's one place to go, that's KO. The downside to a friggin' monopoly is they have not updated their app in literally years. Okay, sport. Famously, not half an hour long. Although, say it were half an hour long. If you were 15 minutes into a show and you pause it and maybe you jump to another app or you've got to go and do something, you come back to your TV, it's gone into like screensaver mode and you go back into that app, where do you expect to be in this case, the KO app? You expect to be where you left off, correct?
I agree, yeah.
Not right back at the beginning, let alone if you like for 2 minutes. If you're gone for 2 minutes, you're back at the beginning. And sport is long. If you're watching a footy match, it could be 4 hours long. You've now got to scroll through a footy match in tiny increments. Like, well, you don't have tiny increments. That's the other thing. Like you're using a friggin' Apple TV remote or whatever remote you are.
Down Around now has a Substack where we are running our premium podcast, a second episode every week, plus plenty more goodies to come in the future. So head to downaround.net to sign up.